Hey, what's up, everyone? Nurse Jar here. Welcome to my Nurse Aid Training YouTube channel. I'm super excited, guys. It is 2023. I have a few life changes coming ahead of me. I'm a little nervous, a little scared, but I am so ready to dive in. Yes. Hey, look, I am coming at you all with these newly updated videos for 2023 for PROMETRIC. Soon, I'll be uploading some videos for Pearson VUE and Credentia as well, okay? If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, y'all know what I'm going to tell y'all to do. Yes, kick that subscribe button, okay? Hit the like button on this video and all of my other videos, especially if they've been helpful to you. And also, you hitting that like button will make my channel more recognizable here in YouTube and also in Google. If you'd like to be notified whenever I upload new content, just go ahead and ring that notification bell, okay? So guys, in this training video, I will be demonstrating and giving you step-by-step explanation on how to perform the PROMETRIC testable skill PERI-CARE or perineal care. Before I get started, I just want to let you know some of the most commonly forgotten steps. One is the placement of the linen protector. 2 is the removal of the linen protector. 3 is the drying of the front peri area. And 4, believe it or not, is the washing, rinsing, and drying of the buttocks and anal area. Okay, so those are the 4 most common forgotten steps or omitted steps in this skill. There are several steps or common steps that are most incorrectly performed. One is the cleaning and the washing and the drying of both the front peri area and the buttocks and anal area. Okay, remember, you got to clean, folks, from front to back. Okay, on both sides, front to back. All right. So I'm not going to give step-by-step instructions on the opening procedures. I'm just going to perform those. But once I start performing the skill, I will be giving step-by-step instructions. Okay, so are y'all ready? Let's go ahead and get started. Hi, good morning, Mrs. Jones. How are you? Awesome. My name is Julie. I'm your CNA, and today I'll be performing perineal care, okay? All right, Mrs. Jones, before I get started, I just want to make sure your bed is in a low, safe position, and it is. Your bed wheels are locked. I'm going to go ahead and give you your call light in your hand, and I'll provide you with some privacy. Mrs. Jones, before I go wash my hands and gather my supplies, is there anything else I can do for you? All right, Mrs. Jones, I'll be right back. Washing hands. All right, guys, so for this skill, perineal care or peri-care, you will need to collect 10 supply items. So I'm going to start out with a Chuck's pad, which I'm going to use as a clean barrier to place over my overbed table. If you don't want to use a Chuck's pad, you can always use a towel. I just like using the Chuck's pads, okay? And then you'll need another Chuck's pad or another towel. And this Chuck's pad I'm going to use as the linen protector to place underneath the mannequin's buttocks, okay? This skill is performed on a mannequin. You'll need 1 towel, and this towel is going to be used to dry. You'll need 4 washcloths. 1 will be to wash the genital area. The second washcloth will be used to dry the genital area. The third washcloth will be used to wash the buttocks and anal areas. And the fourth washcloth will be used to rinse the buttocks and anal areas. You'll also need a pair of gloves. And you will need a bath basin and soap. All right. So let's go ahead and count these items that I have on the table to include the clean barrier to make sure that I do have 10 items. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I did it. It's really important for you to know how many items you will need to collect for a particular scale. This way, once you get your supplies organized on the overbed table, you can count them, or even you can count them while you are gathering them. And if you don't have that number, then if you have less than that number, that will elude you to knowing that you have not collected all the supplies that you need to collect. If you have more than the number of items that the skill requires you to collect, then that will tell you that you've collected something that you really don't need. All right. So again, the supplies, you'll need a clean barrier, you'll need a bath basin, you'll need a pair of gloves, a linen protector, one towel, and 4 washcloths and some soap. Again, I'm using a Chuck's pad as my clean barrier and linen protector, but you can substitute these for towels. Okay, so if you're going to use towels, instead of collecting just one towel, you will collect 3 towels. Okay, if you're going to use it for your clean barrier and linen protector. All right. I also just want to give you a little tip on how to arrange your supply items on the overbed table. I train my students to organize them in the exact order in which they're going to use them. That will help cue you as to what step comes next. Okay, so for instance, I have the bath basin here, so I know I need to do something first with this basin, which is what? What do I need to do with this bath basin? Y'all tell me in the comment section. All right. Tell me in the comment section what I should do with this bath basin. And then the next item I have are my gloves. So this will let me know, okay, it is time for you to put on your gloves. And then I have the linen protector. Okay. So on and so forth. Hopefully you all get the gist of this. Okay. So 2 important factors when collecting your supply items. 1, know how many items you need to collect, and 2, try to get to the point where you can organize your supply items on the overbed table in the exact order in which you are going to use them. Okay, Mrs. Jones, I have all of my supplies that I'll need. What I'm going to do right now is just go fill the basin with some water, okay? Before I do that, is there anything I can do for you? All right, Mrs. Jones, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just made it to the sink. What I'm going to do is fill the basin with water. If at your test site the sink has only one handle, you'll want to turn that one handle to the center setting. If it has 2 handles, you'll want to turn on both handles, okay? Because you're expected to use moderate or tepid temperature water, which is like a lukewarm water. Now, the nurse aid evaluators are not going to have a thermometer to test the water. What they're going to be observing for is how you turn the handle. So again, if the test site has one handle, make sure you turn it to the center setting. If it has 2 handles, just turn on both handles. Now, another thing that you can do while you're at the sink with the water running, you can test the water. So you can test with your finger or you can test with your wrist, okay? When you do so, make sure you verbalize what you are doing. Or you can wait till you get back to the bedside to test the water. Again, you'll want to verbalize doing so, okay? So I'm testing the water. Okay. And now I'm just filling the basin with water. Okay. And now that I have it filled, I'm going to head on back over to the bedside. Hi, Mrs. Jones. It's me, Julie. I'm back. I have the water. I've already tested it. It feels good to me, but I would like for you to test it to make sure it's a comfortable temperature for you. So at this time, the nurse aid evaluator should speak for the mannequin. If he or she does not, please do not wait for them to speak, okay? Just act as if the mannequin responded to you, letting you know that the water is a good temperature, all right? And then just continue on. It feels good? Awesome. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the call light from the person because I'll be turning her, and I'm just going to set it back where I got it from. Mrs. Jones, I'm just going to take your call light and I promise to give it back to you before I leave for the day, okay? Now, Prometric is big on body mechanics. So if you have to raise the height of the bed to a comfortable working position for yourself, please do so. Always remember, any action you take is going to be viewed in the perspective of the nurse aid evaluator. Okay, so if he or she thinks that the bed is too low and that you should raise it and you don't, you may not receive credit for that step and you may get a flag for safety. Okay, so right now I'm just going to raise the height of the bed to a comfortable working level for myself. Mrs. Jones, I'm just raising the height of the bed to a good working level for myself. Okay, you're going to feel the bed rising up. There we go. You've been doing okay today? Awesome. Now I know this is a mannequin. You know it's a mannequin. Everybody knows it's a mannequin, right? But you have to communicate with your residents. So during that awkward silence while you're raising and lowering the level of the bed, it's okay for you to make light conversation even with the mannequin, okay? All right, Mrs. Jones, I think that is good. So now what I'm going to do is put on my gloves because this is the next supply item that I have. Mrs. Jones, I'm just putting on my gloves, okay? With Prometric, there may already be a linen protector underneath the resident. It is presumed that that linen protector is soiled. So before you place the clean linen protector, you'll want to remove the soiled linen protector, okay? And what I'm going to do is just lower her sheets down to knee level, raise her gown to hip level. I'm going to roll the linen protector away from me and push it up underneath the mannequin as much as I can. I'm going to manually raise her hips and completely remove the linen protector. And of course, while I'm doing this, I'm explaining everything to the mannequin. Mrs. Jones, I'm just going to raise your hips to remove the linen protector. What I'm doing is I'm rolling it and pulling it towards me at the same time, making sure it does not come into contact with my clothing. I'm going to recover Mrs. Jones. And then you can place this or place this linen protector into the waste bin. Okay. If it was a towel used, you will place the towel into the waste bin. My Chuck's pad, right? So I'm going to use that as the linen protector. There's two ways that you can place the linen protector underneath the mannequin or even with the live person, okay? You can either have manually raise the mannequin's hips. If you're performing a skill like bedpan, it's a live person, you can just ask them to raise their hips and then you can slide the linen protector underneath, or you can turn the person, right? So for the mannequin, you'll want to manually move them closer to you before you actually turn them onto their side. If it's a skill which is performed with a live resident, then all you have to do is ask or instruct that person to move closer to you. In this demonstration, I am going to manually raise the mannequin's hips, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lay out this linen protector. You do not want to shake it open. Mrs. Jones, I'm just preparing the linen protector to be placed underneath you, okay? So I have it opened out. I'm going to roll it away from me. And then I'm just going to line it up because it has to be completely underneath the buttocks and peri area. While you're placing the linen protector, this is just a little tip. While you're placing the linen protector or after you have placed the linen protector, if the nurse aid evaluator walks up and looks, what he or she is checking for is to ensure that you have the linen protector completely underneath the person's buttocks. So if that happens, you might want to double check, okay, to make sure that you do. So I'm just going to move this table out the way a little bit here, and I have it lined up. I'm going to push the linen protector underneath the person as much as possible. I'm going to bring the camera over here so you can see how I have it. Okay, so as you can see, I have the linen protector lined up. I have it to where it's completely underneath the mannequin's buttocks and will be completely underneath the peri area. What I'm going to do right now is push it up underneath the mannequin as much as I can, right? So that way, when I raise the mannequin's hips, all I have to do is just pull it on through. Okay, so this is how it will look. Completely underneath the buttocks and completely underneath the peri area. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is manually raise the mannequin's hips. And I'm just going to overexpose the mannequin real quickly so you can see where I'm placing my hands. So I'm going to place my arm up underneath the mannequin's thighs, okay, just like this. So actually the back part of my hand is kind of sort of touching the buttocks. And then I'm going to give the mannequin a cue. Mrs. Jones, on the count of 3, I'm going to raise your hips to pull the linen protector through, okay? 1, 2, 3. And as I raise the hips, and you see I'm not raising it that high, all I have to do is roll the linen protector through. And then I can place, once I get it through, on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and place her hips down and bring it on through. Okay? Just like that. All right. So I only overexpose again, just so you, the viewer, can have a better visualization of where I place my arm to manually raise the mannequin's hip, and also to see how I have the linen protector placed completely underneath the buttocks and peri area. Now what I'm going to do is to cover her back up. And then we'll go ahead and start the actual peri-care. Okay, now that I'm ready to start the actual cleaning of the genitals and buttocks and anal area, now I'm going to uncover her, okay? Mrs. Jones, I'm just going to lower your top sheet down to your knees and raise your gown to hip level, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm lowering the top sheet down to knee level. You do not, let me get my face in here. You do not want to go below knee level. That is considered to be overexposing the resident, okay? And then I'm going to raise her gown just to hip level, right? Because this is the only area that I'll be working with, okay? So top sheet, knee level, gown, hip level. Okay, so remember this overbed table has wheels, so you can move it to wherever you need it to be and position it to where you won't have to like walk away to get a supply and come back to the bed. So I have it positioned right here. I'm never going to have my back turned to the resident. Okay, it's right here where I can see the resident, and I'm not walking. Don't have to walk away to get a supply. Okay, so I'm going to take my first washcloth. I'm going to wet it. I'm going to squeeze it out really, really good so I won't have any water dripping. I'm going to open it completely, apply soap to all areas of the washcloth, and then I'm just going to rub it together to make sure I do get the soap all over the washcloth. I'm now going to fold it into fours. And then the best way to hold your washcloth in your hand is to form a diamond, right, with the open leaves on top, and then fold that diamond in half, like so. Okay, I have it folded in half. I'm going to stick my index finger in between, and then I'm going to roll the tail of the washcloth under because you don't want anything hanging. Now I have access to all four leaves of the washcloth, okay, just like this. And now I can go ahead and get started with cleaning. Mrs. Jones, I'm getting ready to start cleaning you, okay? All right, so you always want to remember to clean from front to back. So with the first leaf, I'm going to clean straight down the middle, flip it over to a clean leaf. I'm going to clean one side of the labia majora, flip it over to a clean leaf, clean the other side of the labia majora, flip it over to a clean leaf, open the labia majora to clean straight down the middle to clean the labia minora. Now I'm going to flip my washcloth over to the closed end. Okay, again, I'm tucking in the tail. I'm going to clean one groin, and then I'm just going to invert it to the clean side and clean the other side of the groin area. I'm going to take this washcloth and place it on my basin. I'm taking the second washcloth, wetting it, squeezing it out really good. I'm going to keep it in all fours. I'm not applying soap because this is the washcloth that I will be rinsing with, okay? So now I'm going to rinse in the same manner that I washed. Straight down the middle, flip to a clean leaf, clean one side of the labia majora, flip to a clean leaf, clean the other side of the labia majora, flip over to a clean leaf, open the labia majora to rinse straight down the middle to rinse the labia minora. I'm going to go to a closed end, and I'm going to rinse the groin area and then invert the washcloth to a clean area to rinse the other side of the groin. I'm going to now place this washcloth over my basin. One of the most common forgotten steps is the drying of the front peri area. So you want to dry in the same direction that you washed and rinsed, from front to back, using a blotting or patting method, okay? So I'm going from front to back, front to back, and front to back. Okay, all done. I'm going to place this side of the towel down on the overbed table. That will let me know that the side that is facing up is clean. All right, so now it's time for me to clean the buttocks and anal area. Because PROMETRIC does not emphasize the use of side rails, I'm going to manually move the mannequin closer towards me before I actually turn her onto her side. Mrs. Jones, I'm just going to move you closer to me, okay? So I have one hand behind her shoulder blade and the other one on her hip, okay? Mrs. Jones, on the count of 3, I'll move you closer towards me. 1, 2, 3. And just slide the mannequin close to you, okay? Now I'm going to turn her. So what I'm going to do is raise, since I'm on her right side, I'm going to raise her right leg. I'm placing my hand on the side of her leg, just below her knee. My other hand is behind her shoulder blade, and I'm going to give her a cue as to when I will turn her. Mrs. Jones, I'm going to turn you on the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. And now you can slowly turn the mannequin onto its side. If the sheets move, all you have to do is readjust them, okay? To make sure that it's over her knee or at the level of her knee, okay? And the gown is to the level of her hips, all right? And now it's time to clean the buttocks and anal area. So again, as with the front peri area, you want to clean from front to back. So you're starting from the perineum and working your way up towards the back, okay? So the third washcloth I have, I'm going to wet it. I'm applying soap all over the washcloth. I'm just rubbing it together to make sure I have it over the washcloth and to produce lather. I'm folding it into 4s. And again, I'm going to fold it using the diamond method and tuck in the tail, okay? Just like this. So I have 4 open leaves available to me. So starting from the perineum and working my way up, this is from front to back. I'm cleaning the anal area. I'm going to flip to a clean leaf, clean one buttocks, flip to a clean leaf, clean the other buttocks, flip to a clean leaf, and clean the anal area again. Okay. Now I'm going to place this towel over my basin. All right, my 4th towel I'm getting and I'm wetting it, squeezing it out really, really good. I'm going to keep it in 4s. Again, using the diamond method, tucking it in, having available all 4 open leaves. I'm going to rinse the buttocks and anal area in the same manner that I just washed it. So starting from the perineum, working my way upwards to clean the anal area, flipping over to a clean leaf, rinsing one buttocks, flipping over to a clean leaf, rinsing the other buttocks, flipping over to a clean leaf to rinse the anal area again. All right. I'm going to hang this washcloth over my basin. And now I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to pat dry or blot dry from front to back. Now, I just did 3 passes of drying, right? I did 1, then I picked it up, started again from front to back. 2, picked it up, started again from front to back. You can do 3 passes, 2 passes, or 1 passes, or 1 pass. It does not specify. But what is important, if you do more than 1 pass of drying, you need to pick that washcloth up or towel up, and start back and do it again from front to back. Okay, you don't want to do this up and down, up and down, up and down, because now you're mixing dirty and clean together. Okay, so if you do 1 pass, you're good. Okay, if you want to do more than 1 pass, again, you want to pick that towel up, bring it back down, and work your way again from front to back. Okay. So I'm going to place this towel down onto my overbed table. Now, another most commonly forgotten step is the removal of the linen protector. So while I have the mannequin turned over on its side, I'm going to go ahead and roll up this linen protector. Okay, push it up underneath her as much as possible, and then I'll turn her back onto her back and remove it completely. Mrs. Jones, on the count of 3, I'm just going to turn you over back onto your back, okay? 1, 2, 3. There we go. We'll straighten out your leg here. Awesome. And I'm just going to remove this linen protector completely. There we go. Gonna place your gown down and pull up your sheet. There we go. And now I'll go dispose of the linen protector into the wastebasket. If you used a towel as the linen protector, you will want to dispose of it into the soiled linen hamper. Okay, now at this time, I'm going to go back to the bedside and collect all of my soiled linen, dispose of it into the waste bin, empty, rinse, and wash the basin, place everything back into storage, and then dispose of my clean barrier. So come follow me. Okay, so I'm collecting the remainder of my soiled linen, carrying it out at arm's length, and I am disposing of it into the soiled linen hamper. Now I'm going to get my basin, bring it over to the sink, empty, rinse, and dry it. Okay, so I've made it to the sink. I'm emptying the basin into the sink, and no, you do not need to empty it into the toilet. Okay, this container or basin has not contained any bodily fluids. Okay, all we did was wash the peri area. So you'll empty it into the sink, rinse it, empty the rinse into the sink, dry it, and make sure you dry it really good because there are some NAEs that will go and check to make sure it's completely dry. So I have it completely dry. I'm going to throw this paper towel into the waste bin and head on back to the bedside. Okay, now I'm going to place the basin and the soap back into the bedside stand. I'm going to remove and dispose of my clean barrier into the waste bin, keeping it at arm's distance. Again, if you used a towel, do not put it into the waste bin, okay? Make sure you dispose of it into the linen hamper. But because I use a Tux pad, I'm disposing of it into the waste bin. Okay, at this time, I'm going to remove my gloves without contaminating myself. I'm just making a C, pulling from the palm, pulling it over my hand. And if it tears, don't worry. Just don't touch your skin, okay? I'm going to roll it up into a ball. Then I'm going to go underneath the other glove and pull it, immediately dispose of it, immediately verbalize washing hands. And now I'm going to go back to the bedside and do my closing procedures. Come on, follow me. All right, so I'm just going to place the overbed table here. I'm going to just straighten Mrs. Jones out a little bit. Mrs. Jones, I'm just straightening you out. There we go, fixing your sheet so you can be nice and comfy. All right. There we go. I'm going to lower your bed back down to a low safe position. Just checking your bed brakes. They are still locked. And I'm going to hand you your call light. There we go. All right, Mrs. Jones, I'm all done. Would you like for me to keep your privacy curtains open, or would you like me to close them so you can see? Close them up? Okay, I'll be right back. All right. Okay, Mrs. Jones, before I leave, is there anything else I can do for you? Do you want something to drink or a magazine to read? No? Okay, Mrs. Jones. Well, you have a good day, okay? All right. Now you'll verbalize washing hands. Skill complete. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you. Ciao.